Should we change our names? Oh, you're going live.
And we're live. Okay, what's up, everyone? I think we have some people are going to start trickling in to YouTube. Let's see. How are we doing, Michelle?
Doing so good. Super excited. There's going to be some amazing art coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing artists.
Oh, yeah. And then Ken, great to meet you. Oh, go ahead, Guido, sorry.
I was just updating my display name. You guys you did it where you got like Ben from Contra, Michelle's got Buck. I'm gonna update it to says Guido from Rive.
Wait, Michelle, is your team the one who did the Zoe Rive animation? Did I see that or am I making that up? Who did that?
That was I think Moth Studios did that.
Okay,
they
that's
did.
Right.
Well, Michelle should talk about what they did. Yeah.
Yes, I was part of the team that did the LinkedIn year in review.
Oh
so
my God.
That was our biggest Rive project to date, and it was incredible. Couldn't have done it without the Rive team, but very, very fun for us to design in that way. It's pretty fun.
They've done a lot of cool Rive stuff. I don't know what they can publicly share, but there's been some other pretty high-profile stuff too.
Oh, yes. We also did the Notion AI assistant. So if anyone uses Notion and has that little face that's been smiling at them, that was also a team, wonderful, wonderful team at Buck. Led by Kendra, Paola, HJ. I'm just saying first names, but I am just like, there are real people who are really out there, like keyframing and scripting and changing user experience for the better in partnership with Rive.
My favorite part about kicking off these challenges is I get to not only share what has been built with Rive, but I also get to learn all of the crazy things that I use every day that are also built in Rive, which is crazy. So, okay, welcome everyone. I think we can get started. This is a really cool challenge. Big shout out to the Rive team for hosting, but Rive launched scripting, and we basically asked the community to create your coolest creations in Rive using this new feature. And I have to say the submissions were insane. So I think we can get started. Let's see, there we go. So if you don't know Contra, we're a new creative network, completely commission free. We've had Rive experts on Contra, I feel like for a couple of years now. I met Guido way back in the day. And it seems like forever ago, but it's only been a couple of years. And Rive experts are some of the most in-demand creatives on Contra, which is amazing. So being able to run this competition has been super, super cool. But I'll pass it over to the Rive team to talk more about their latest features. So Guido or Luigi, take it over.
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, it's been an awesome partnership with Contra, and it's been cool to see both our companies grow. I just wanted to say real quick, did we want to do a quick intro for Ken? Ken, do you want to introduce yourself? Because I think we cut you off right when you were about to do it. Like, I cut you off talking about all the rad stuff Michelle has built, and you didn't get to say hi. But now he's muted. It's not going to work. Now I'm throwing a wrench on top of the wrench that I already threw before. Great start. All right, I'll start going through like the scripting feature. Ken, just talk over me. So yeah, we launched scripting, which was always a big part of the vision of Rive. Like, I don't know if everyone knows. Like, I think we got a little pigeonholed early on into like Rive is a motion graphics tool, and that was never the intent of the project. It was always very much a creative environment where designers, animators, and developers can all work together to build an experience together. That's been the vision from the very beginning. We just needed, when we started out, one of the biggest, there was a lot of challenges to building all the stuff we had to build because it was more than just an editor. There was a new type of format. There was a new renderer. There was a new runtime that would run everywhere. And one of the biggest unlocks was creating this new format that could change state every frame. And when you have a new format that can change state every frame, what's the best way to show it off? Like, why should you use this instead of SVG, instead of the PNG or any other type of graphics format? Well, check out the really cool motion it can do. And that kind of set us on this course of like, oh, Rive is a motion graphics tool. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking and let Luigi talk about the scripting thing, because I think that's been his baby all along. But I don't know, Ken, did your mic turn on? Did you want to try to squeeze in something real quick?
It is working now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Nice. Sorry, technical difficulties. Yeah, no, I mean, this is a day I've been waiting for quite some time, as Guido and Luigi know. Just coming from heavy Flash days and awaiting the day that logic and being able to have coding inside of Rive. It's a new day. So super excited to see everybody. Yeah.
I don't know if folks know, like Ken, Luigi, and I go way back. Like, I mean, we came to the US now 20 years ago. What was it? Just about 20 years ago. Oh, Luigi's gonna say that. 21. Feel free to talk, Luigi. And Ken was running his agency in LA, and we started a new agency in San Francisco that was very much, we weren't really in competition with each other. Ken was a lot more like entertainment, like they did The Corpse Bride, and I'm gonna miss a bunch of huge, impressive customers, but that's the one that always stuck with me as one of the Ken's projects when I first met him that he was working on, that had all this like really cool motion. And it's kind of the example of like some of the stuff we lost when Flash went away that you just don't see that much anymore. Like audio and transitions and all this awesome stuff. And Luigi and I had an agency that was a lot more designer developer, but more appy. Like we were doing more like the, you know, Microsoft Xbox apps, like for Netflix and HBO. And so they were way more like sort of on the entertainment side, films and all that. And we were, anyway, Ken, I'm cutting you off again.
No. I'm just, I mean, it's happening. So like the ability to do things at a 10x capability within Rive, there's just not enough time in the day to play.
Yeah, the whole point of adding scripting is to let people kind of, it's not just for the developers, right? I think there's so many creative people out there that don't necessarily associate it as being developers, but they are very, very capable of writing logic that makes their experiences turn into applications, into interactive experiences. And I think that the biggest problem has been there hasn't been tooling to let people kind of do that, to let people explore that, to not be afraid of jumping into code. And that's what Rive is always meant to be. It's always meant to have been something that lets you be cross-functional and lets you not be afraid to get your feet wet, which is a big reason why the editor and everything else is built into Rive directly. You don't need to go install a whole bunch of stuff separately to get going on this. You can just open the tool and go. And yeah, we're so excited to see exactly what's come out of this this awesome partnership with Contra and this awesome challenge, because it really does show that that's still possible today. It's just about tooling.
Yeah, we should move on because I'd love to get to the winners and actually ask them that question. Like, how many of you like had never coded anything? When like it'd be really interesting to hear from the winners about that. So yeah.
Awesome, and just I'm sure you guys by this point know everyone. Guido, co-founder, CEO of Rive. I'm the co-founder of Contra. Luigi, co-founder, CTO of Rive. Ken over at Google, but clearly goes way back with Guido and Luigi, which is amazing. And then Michelle, the creative director at Buck. Wow. So I am definitely feeling a little bit of imposter syndrome on this panel. But definitely you're in good hands. And it was very, very hard to determine the winners. But another huge shout out to the Rive team for making it possible to run this challenge in the first place. So $5,000 in prizes for the community to basically learn a new feature that's going to up-level your workflow. Massive, massive win for the community. So the grand prize, $3,000. And the submissions were so good, we had a tie for second place. And so each person who came in second place is getting $1,000, and you're going to hear from the winners as well. And something new that we're trying at Contra, we love when people get creative together. So we have a top community promoter prize and a community favorite prize. So the people who had the most likes, the most votes, and also the people who brought Rive to everyone else, which is huge. So yeah, let's get into it. Submissions were amazing. I don't know, Michelle, like what was your take? I mean, you were a judge. Like, how did you feel like trying to choose a winner? It was crazy.
It was a lot. It's like when you get to have the most amazing meal and there's too many things to pull from, but you're like, ice cream doesn't take that much room, I'll keep eating, it'll be fine. And we had this giant spreadsheet, and it was this thing where I was like going back and forth through the spreadsheet, but mostly I was just overwhelmed by how excited I was with the possibilities. Like, I'm like, this just opens up so many doors. And it was also great to hear from all the creators, like hearing everyone who submitted speak to what they wanted to make and why, and they were able to realize it was really exciting. So I want to thank the community again.
Incredible. Yeah. And Ken, I'm curious, like being outside of the ecosystem, what did you think about some of these submissions?
Yeah, I mean, similarly, it's one of those things where, you know, I'm a big advocate of always just trying to get to the point where whatever's in your head, you can get out and make tangible, like basically being able to create at the speed of thought. And when you see this sort of bloom or more or less like explosion of creativity, it's kind of like it opens up kind of all new pathways to be able to like express things that are a lot more advanced and just like, you know, these are inside of people's heads, but to see it all just kind of come together, it's just feels like everybody's even just getting started as well. So
100%. And Guido and Luigi, you must be so proud seeing these creations using the tool that you like came up with, the tool that you've been building. I'm curious your take. Like, was it hard to judge? Were you surprised with some of the things that were built?
Yes, it was very hard to judge. And I think a lot of the stuff you have on the screen here is an example of why. There were so many things that just the things that we didn't even know you could do already with scripting. And like there's a few examples on the screen right now that I could talk for a long time about. Like the one that's just a button on the top right there, there's things that were like full-blown experiences, right? Which were, I think, amazing. Like the one on the top left, that's like all this data that gets demonstrated. It's like all health data as like little colored like balls. Like one is an activity, one is like, I forget, your heart rate or something. And it kind of, you can click on them and it goes through this really cool experience that you wouldn't be able to really do without scripting. The fact of making art even more cool, like that little button on the top right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got like the Connect wallet, and it's got all this like this scripted path effect around it that's making the stroke look like electricity and all these like procedural particles like coming out of it. And you could animate that, but it would take you forever. And I don't think it would have this kind of procedural look that it does. And it changes as you click on it and everything. And it's just like extending art that was all created by an artist, but then adding this extra level of proceduralness to it, which those were some of the things that really impressed me. The
controllable proceduralness, yes. Which is so cool because you can add those effects and then you can control the layers and the blending and the different color values applied to them. You can instance it multiple times. Like the fact that you've got that iterative loop and can do that, that's why we built that feature. We literally built path effect wasn't going to make it into V1. And I said, someone's going to go nuts with this. We have to do it. And I'm so glad that in the very first thing we show, someone's done it. Someone's done something super incredible with it.
I love it. And in the comments, Ashley said, Rive has always been magic, but now with scripting, it's gone full sorcery, which is, it's just like the level of craft that is going to come to UI because of the things that Rive is building is just chef's kiss. Okay, so let's get into the winners because I know everyone's waiting. Okay, and the honorable mention, I can't remember who, am I doing the honorable mention? Or is that you, Michelle? Is that me? Okay, Jajjeet, this was super, super cool. The kaleidoscope, I saw this submission and it was so hard to pick, but this was so incredible.
I love this one too. Yeah.
It was so good. Okay, so Guido, I'm curious, like, tell us more.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you. I just meant to add. I had the same. I was like, how do we judge these? Like, these are all so great, and like it's got like all these additive effects. Like, we get really pigeonholed. I think I talked earlier about how we get pigeonholed as a motion graphics tool, and then also because like Duolingo was one of the first tools that started really using Rive at a massive like multi-million user scale. We kind of got known as like, oh yeah, the vector kind of flat look, and I think this is a great example of like you can build stuff that looks very different from that with glows and with blend modes and with all this depth, and like this just doesn't look like something that would come out of Duolingo, and I love that about it. And yeah, also he's demonstrating using your own art with the code. Like I think this was a good example of like whereas a lot of it is code generated, but you can see they have these artboards over there where they've manually drawn stuff in, which is I think there were some really cool examples that were entirely scripted and didn't have any art in it, which were amazing and mind-blowing that you could do that. But to me, the stuff that really stood out was the stuff that had that element and then also added the artist's touch of like creating things manually and keyframing them and animating them, all that. Anyway, that's what I want to say about this piece.
And that's something amazing that you can see also there on the side, the property groups that are being shown. These are all properties that they very intentionally expose that show like the different controls and knobs that a designer can tweak, right? So a scripting, whether it's an engineer, whoever it is, they can provide all these parameters that then the designer can tweak, and not only tweak them, those are all animatable. Those are all data bindable. You can go, drive those and create experiences that are, immediately visible, the effect of changing code and changing the parameters that drive that code, all in the same experience, all at runtime in the tool that's letting you literally click things and drag them around and move them. You can go move one of the particles in that artboard on the right, and it'll immediately update on the left too. And I think this is like such a great example of how iterative the whole process is.
And that runs, right? That'll work on. You just export this, and the same thing is on iOS, on Android, on the web, on Unity, Unreal. You don't have to hand this off to an engineer to figure out how do I redo this. The whole iteration happens here, and then you just put it on the device and it works. No further translation required.
Yeah, so good. I'm curious, Ken and Michelle, if you had any thoughts on this one.
No, well, I mean, I think a lot of this stuff to what Guido and Luigi were speaking about, it's like the ability to bring to life kind of a living art piece in a way that it's always different, and the ability to then, we really didn't have this in Flash, where you could then have it everywhere and consistent, to the point about the platforms. Like it was always a struggle. Like you could have Flash only in particular parts, and there was always hope that you would have it in other places someday. But I just the ability to use this in experiences both big and small, I think is amazing.
By the way, Ken's cats really like this submission too. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah. I don't even hear it.
Okay, next honorable mention is Yuri. And this health data reimagined. I think, Guido, this is something you were pointing out in the original kind of.
Yeah, I brought this up before, yeah.
So good. Michelle, I'm curious, when you saw this, like, what did you think? What was your first thought?
I just love how it really made clear that data visualization doesn't have to be dry. Like, data visualization can be incredibly beautiful and compelling, but also that it's like, I thought the user experience was quite sophisticated, where it's like, it's not just visualizing and it's static, as you can see in the GIF there. It's like you can add layers to the experience to then like let you dig in even further into all of it. And I think it really ties into kind of what life is becoming for a lot of us, where it's like, it's not even like screens are everywhere. It's more like everything is now becoming some sort of display or some sort of alternate augmented layer where we can understand how we experience the world. And this is a great illustration of how like Rive is an amazing tool that can help you be a part of shaping what that's going to be as things are changing, as platforms are changing, that we can all be a part of.
It's so futuristic. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
To me, this demo is just like, do you know the meme of like the designer all happy jamming on their like kind of concept, and the engineer like just sweating buckets? Like, how am I possibly gonna just rage quit, table flip? Like this to me is like that type of. If you were to show this, like, here it is running in my design tool. Okay, now go build it. Like this is the exact, like, I think, example of like what that meme is built for. And instead here, like a designer and I mean, I don't say like a creative person worked on design, animation, and code all together. And this doesn't have to be rebuilt. This works. Like, you connect this to real data. That is real data driving that. It's such a cool example of like, it answers that question of why Rive. We talk about that all the time internally. Like, if we're helping build examples or talking about the product, like, we got to have a reason. Like, why wouldn't I just do this in HTML? And like, well, because you'd have to like have like someone probably start with a concept, and then someone who knows JavaScript and HTML like help you, or an AI translate it and convert it to HTML, and then there's all these like sort of like different tools you have to use to get there. And the iterative process instead in one tool that does it all, design, animation, and code, is like, yeah. Anyway, that's my marketing hat on.
Yeah, can I say one more thing about this one too? Because I think that's exactly what like makes, like, I think you could get there with other tools, but you don't. what would happen is that I don't think you would actually find this as the end result, because in that iterative cycle of doing this, the level of polish that clearly went into this, it's amazing. And what I suspect happens when you build something this detailed and delightful, you start figuring out, oh, I could do this too. Oh, I could take it there, because you're kept in that iterative flow and you can do this all as you're designing, literally. I think it just lets you explore and go in directions that you just wouldn't have the capacity to go in without that kind of tooling. But on this one specifically, this one blew my mind. This one was just insane. The amount of transition work and real data connected to it, and the fact that it's all real and it's also delightful to play with. And there's a little secondary motions when you drag certain things and they wait around and then they spin back and go back in the fray. There's just so much detail, so many different views of the same data. And on top of it, every single one of those elements is individually designed and animated. You can see the various nested artboards on the right with the text inside of them. So every animation is synchronized with the script logic. It's an incredible amount of work. And it just goes to show how someone that's very talented can really do really amazing things with this.
I love it. Yuri, super well done. You're getting the Rive founders hyped up, which says, enough in itself, but it's just so futuristic. I can imagine we're all going to have wearables one day with screens on them, and it's all going to be powered by Rive. It's going to be crazy. Okay. And the winners, I think first thing we're going to do. Okay. So drum roll, everyone. So many, if those are the honorable mentions, imagine the winners, right? Like this is crazy. So I think we can go to the next slide, because we have the community promoter and the top community favorite. Okay, so this is something new. We're trying at Contra. The people who are the favorite and the people who help bring Rive to the most, promote Rive to other people, I think definitely deserve a prize. So there's a $2,500 prize for each one of you. So Shubham and Bartek, congratulations. We all know Bartek from X in the community. He's just in Rive lore. Everywhere you look, Bartek has another sweet demo he's making. So Bartek, congratulations. And then Shubham, congratulations. And thank you for spreading the word about the competition. It's really fun to get everyone together. Okay, so now for the official winners, I think, Ken, is this one to you?
Yeah. I mean, this, it's funny to jump in, Fernanda, and just basically be like, hey, Rive's a game engine now. I'm just going to make a top-down game now, and basically architect it in a way that you would in a larger game engine, the pre-existing ones, right? Like as far as the procedural aspects of it, the gameplay, the art, everything's there. And so it's just amazing to see what you've done to just no fear jumping in and making an awesome game. Being able to race against time, grab the crystals, all the little details on that. So definitely congrats. Very impressive.
This is totally a use case, by the way, that we think is gonna grow and open up a lot. We have some really cool customers working on stuff related to this, and for people, there's been a lot of questions on different social networks about is Rive a game engine now? Is this what it's supposed to be? And our answer is, hell yes, it is. It's like that was always. It's an experience engine. It's more than just games. But yeah, yes. It's really lightweight games. That's the thing that is the runtime is so lightweight that you can throw that game into an ad. You can throw it into a bigger experience, and it's only going to add, depending on the platform, hundreds of kilobytes to a couple megs, depending on where you're shipping. So anyway, this is
lightweight.
So cool to see this. Yeah.
Lightweight doesn't mean shallow. That's something that blew my mind about this one. When I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. This is a nice little demo. No, it's a full game. Oh my God, they added this, they added that. Yeah. You can do that. It's it was one of the things that we really were hoping someone would do. And I was just blown away of how much further this went than I'd expect. Because we're getting there. We've got everything that'll get you most of the way there. But nope, someone just did it now. And it looks incredible. This is such a unbelievable submission.
Yeah, she did all the UI around it. That's what we think is really special about Rive compared to other game engines, is that there's design tooling built in, there's animation tooling built in. It's an all-in-one engine, and it was awesome, Fernando. We're stoked that you did this.
So well done. Okay, congratulations, Fernanda. And now over to Michelle.
Awesome. Thank you. And congrats, Fernanda. As someone who has spent hundreds of hours playing roguelike games, I was very impressed with your randomized level. So kudos again. But I am super excited to also present an award to Sajal for Let There Be Light, which really blew all of the judges away in terms of creativity and really pushing how you can use the new scripting capabilities in Rive. So I think what really stood out was that this project integrated real world sensor data. And so it's a way to have a digital twin for your plant in your house. And as more light was exposed to the plant and the actual physical conditions in your apartment, in your house, that actually affected that adorable plant, digital plant organism that you see. And so for me, I just love the creativity and like the outside the box thinking of being like, this is not just something that's screen based or mobile based or web based. This is about trying to tie together all aspects of my daily physical experience and like be able to fluidly create and change designs and animations based on things in the real world. And so I think that is super duper duper cool.
I just want this because I've killed so many plants and I don't know how to stop. And I need this. Like if someone could make this and I could like check my phone and just see that my plant is happy and healthy, I'd be happy and healthy too.
Yeah, I'm also just excited about like the data binding work that went into this. Like all that data that's coming into this is, I mean, not only does it show off scripting with a lot of really awesome stuff, the procedural particles and a bunch of other stuff, but yeah, the real-time data coming in and just updating the design file is such a killer example of what you can do.
Yeah, and being able to see like, you know, temperature, humidity, like you could think like I could end up having a little plant party with like my plant, my friends' plants. There's just so much there
oh my God.
to build off of. Community garden.
Social network for plants.
Yeah, co-op plants. Oh my God, that'd be amazing. I don't know. Did we call out that it was specifically a tie for second place? Did someone mention
We did,
that?
yeah.
Like, how can you pick? It's so crazy.
And just actually maybe on that, we should explain, like we scored all of this with like the point system. So we try to be as scientific as possible about it. And it literally came out with all the judges scoring as a tie. And we're like, well, let's not fight it. This is what the math says.
Incredible. Okay, so
I think Ken's trying to say something, but we can't hear him. You might be muted.
Oh, wait.
Ken.
Oh, no. It's just me preparing to speak. No, I do have to drop, but and right at the grand prize finale. But I also just wanted to thank all the submissions and such. I mean, even I think on the plant side of things, I mean, where my brain goes to is like personifying everything. Like I'm in my vehicle and and it's connected to my vehicle's data, and I have this personification of my vehicle. Like the sort of physical to digital, digital to physical kind of side of things is just, there's so much to do. And so anyway, so I got to run. But thanks again to everyone. And
Thanks, Ken.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
Yeah, my mind totally went to the ClaudeBot, MultBot, OpenClaw, sort of social network that recently formed and all that. And I was like, oh, this is like going to be a trend. Like, yeah, exactly what Ken was saying. All right.
Okay, the grand prize winner, Guido and Luigi, over to you.
Yeah, congrats, Isa. Like you blew us away. I mean, she's been working with Rive for a long time. And I think you probably saw her submission in the previous challenge too. I mean, this one just like blew us away. Like it was a game that like everything is procedural in it, but it's also very artistic and very animated and drawn. And there's I don't know, Luigi, you should talk about the scripting side of it because I think it's over my head. Haha, not intentional. But you should, you should describe it because it just blew us away with like how fun the game is, and also just how just like everything is like what's the word I'm trying to find? Like the exact slice position you go through is the exact slice that it creates. Like everything is accurate. It's like physically right. It's not, and it responds to lighting. it's more than just like beautiful art. It's like interactive in a way that I can't believe how far you took it.
It's so technically impressive. It's just really, really, really well done. The fact that, yeah, like we just said, that's one thing that really caught me too, was when you slice and it catches all three of them and it does the slice correctly. So all the collision detection is right. All the procedural blobs for the blood are like actually interesting and different and random. Like it's so fun. It's so fun. But then it's not just fun to look at. It's actually like you get the dopamine of playing it and using it, and it looks great with all the little side animations and everything. It brings back, again, what was lost when Flash died, I think, and it's the ability to have these experiences that are just so well curated. If someone really wants to go all out and build something super fine-tuned, very, very polished, they can do it, and this just completely demonstrates that. Just like the level of depth that went into making this look this good and feel this good is just it's clearly Issa's a master, but this is like really, really, really exceptional.
And none of it like is the same when you play it again. Like the splatter is going to be different. The blood, like not just the splatter on the back drop, but like the particles coming out like follow the direction you sliced in. The way the heads that pop up and the directions they pop up from, all of it is like a real game. It's not just like a timeline that plays the same thing over every time. Anyway, yeah.
So amazing. Good. Congratulations, Issa. You just won $3,000 thanks to Rive. Michelle, any thoughts on this one? It was just so fun.
I think a lot of my thoughts were captured. Again, for me, it was the holistic UX experience, where the first thing I typed in the group chat that we had was like, this is so much more sophisticated than it seems. Because if you've made projects like this and played a lot of them, you know that it's the things that are invisible as a user that really make the big difference. So Luigi, like you said, when I sliced through 3 and it went all through 3 accurately, I was like, oh, this is next level. So congratulations, Issa. I loved playing Heads Will Roll.
I love it. All right, so let's hear from some of our winners. I think up first, we're gonna bring on Fernanda to the stage. So we'd love to hear how you built Riff Rider. I think she's coming. Uh-oh. Did we lose her? Nope, there she is.
Hi. Yeah, I'm here.
Well done. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Hi guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for the second place. I'm so glad to be here with you. It really means a lot to me. Thank you.
Of course. And so what was the inspiration behind Riff Rider? Tell us about your process.
So, well, for this project, at the first time, the initial idea was actually to have only a procedural map going on. But then I thought also it would be really cool to have something happening on this procedural map. So then based on the timeline that I got, the deadline that I got, that on that time I had only 3 days left until the challenge ends, before, of course, the extension. So at that point, I knew I had to go simpler with this project. I had a lot of ideas what would be really nice to have, but I created a kind of scope, what would be required and what would be nice to have. And I went to the required stuffs. But for example, I thought about a dungeon, top-down mini game, and with battle going on, but based on the deadline, I went simpler. So I thought about little girl who travel over those portals to the multiverse. I really love movies like Coraline and Alice in Wonderland. So this project really resonates with my personality. And yeah, so that was the idea.
I love it. And so well executed. The concept is brilliant. Super, super well done. And Fernanda, great to have you on stage, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. I love that shot, by the way. We just like, there was a shot here on the right where it zooms out and it shows all the artboards, like all the various components that you had to create to make it, and it just goes to show how big the project is. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, this is really cool to see. And this is so mind-blowing to me to see what we can build now with Rive. I never thought I would be able to build this kind of stuff with Rive, and now I see like open box of possibilities that you can go through. And yeah, scripting with Rive is really cool.
Can I ask you, like, had you ever written code before? Like, are you a coder, or was this a first time experience for you?
No, at all. I have never coding before, so the agent help was really important. And also, I got Yuri help. He's a software engineer, so when the stuff started to get complex, he helped me a lot with all the logic and to build this on. Yeah.
That's so cool to see, though, that you made good use of the agent too. That's exactly what we put there. What Luigi was saying. That's part of why we didn't want to make it complicated for designers to have to set up another environment. We get some requests about like, why didn't you just let me use VS Code and all this other stuff? And we're like, well, there's some creative people that just have never even touched that. They want to be able to do stuff, but they want everything in one place. They don't want to have to go off and set up all this stuff or stuff. So anyway, really cool to
I think it's completely possible if you really want to make that happen. It's completely possible to get into coding at Rive. Lua is a really nice coding language for animation and games and whatever the project is. I think it's really nice.
Awesome. And I just want to plug on like Luigi and the editor team's effort on all of this is that like, don't take that to mean that this is not a professional IDE. Like I think most programmers are going to be impressed by like how sophisticated the editor is in here, and it's all been custom built. It has all the things you'd expect. I mean, Luigi can talk about this better than I can, but they didn't skimp on it. It was very much like some of the initial internal debates we were having, over the last many years. It was like, why don't we just give people a text field, let them copy paste, their codes in, and they definitely went on hard mode. They said, no, that cannot be our MVP.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Fernanda, thank you so much for joining us. And I think now we're going to welcome Sajal to the stage. All right, Sajal, hey congratulations.
Thank you.
This is such a cool idea. I can just think about how you can now put sensors on everything, use data binding to basically visualize this with Rive, put it anywhere on any screen. It's incredible. I think this really inspires a lot of different offshoot ideas. I'm curious, what was your thought process, and are you good at growing plants? Do you have a green thumb?
Yeah, I mean, to talk about the process, initially I actually saw one project which actually used a bit of hardware and software both. I think it was in data binding challenge. It was something related to foosball table. So I remember that one. And there was this idea that my mom gave me because I was just chatting with her when I went to my hometown. I actually have something, if I'm allowed to present over here. Just let me know, guys, when you are able to see your screen.
So are you sharing your screen?
He's trying. Yeah, it sounds like he's trying to share his screen.
1 sec. Let me see.
Is it visible though?
Not yet. Let me see if we can. I'm gonna ask our producer.
No, it's fine. I'll just convey. Yeah.
Okay, 1 sec. Let me see if we can make it happen for you, Sajal. Give me 1 sec. Oh wait, it may not be possible on the stream.
Okay,
sorry.
It's fine. I'll just explain it to you guys. So my mom once said me that plants are very non-transactional in nature because you just help them grow and they don't complain, they don't say anything to you, and just hit me. And what I did next was, because I have an engineering degree, so I just thought out to put it in use. And I just bought some dirt cheap sensors, connected it to my house plant, and with the help of some microcontroller, I was able to get those data into my front end. And of course, like in the front end, I have Rive and state machines, which actually powered my whole project. So I had these artboards wired up for different facial expressions, for different styles of the plant's leaves, all this stuff. What can be variable, you can imagine, like all those stuff I created. And yeah, so this was mostly being driven by data binding at that point, but obviously after that strict scripting came in. So I just thought of like not just the expressions and the leaves around the plant. What would be very cool is to have the environment also come alive. So that gave me an idea to actually visualize something which is very invisible to us humans, like photons, like the molecules, the oxygen molecules, the CO2 molecules coming out in and around the plant. So I just thought, okay, I'll take use of the scripting part, and I'll just create particle systems. And that's when I actually saw Jeff's video. So great shout out to Jeff, because I have been like any new thing that Rive introduces, I just go to his access timeline, and yeah, one video to suffice.
Are you talking about Jeff McAvoy on the Rive team? Oh, cool.
Correct. Yeah. Yes. I think, Guido, you posted I think that video was like a sticky header on top of the Rive Contra challenge, wherein you were explaining that you can just bind your artboards and art to the scripting part. So that really inspired me to create these molecules by hand, and then I would just bind it to the script file. So that's how I was able to create these photons and molecules. So yeah, like quite interesting this was. And I'm just
shout out real quick to Jeff on that tutorial. If you're looking for it, it basically shows you how to use scripting and use the agent to start you off, and then create some artboards for you to go and like design and animate and use the particle system with your own art, so that you're not just like coding everything. And I think that's the example you're referring to. Yeah, that was a great like how to get started with scripting if you've never touched it before and just want to build a mind-blowing particle system.
Yeah, and I actually replicated his project, like the particle system, and then after that I just extrapolated it with these molecules and photons and everything. Now my next idea is to basically wire up some more sensors and bind it with some cool stuff.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How did you do the data transfer for this? It looks like it's a website and it's connecting to some local host server. And are you polling it? How are you getting the data in? How are you streaming the data in?
Yeah. So what I'm doing essentially is my ESP32 instance, the microcontroller. It is exposing a JSON. Earlier, I was actually using polling. So my front end was actually polling the data from the Wi-Fi endpoint, which my ESP32 was exposing. But then after that, there was some lag of sorts. So then I switched to WebSocket. So now there is, a very cohesive flow of data. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Because as you can imagine, one of the big features that we're going to add is external data to Rive. And I think it'll be really cool to use this as an example to move it completely hosted inside the editor, so you can actually tweak the parameters and see how things respond in real time as you're interacting with the plant and the sensors. And so that's really good to know. WebSocket support is definitely something that we've been talking about internally. So it's good to know that that's in line with what you did here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make one comment that as a dad of 2 kids, I love that this like all came about as a way to prove mom wrong when she said we can't communicate with plants, and it's like, I'm gonna prove you wrong, mom. I love it.
Yeah, and there was also a comment, I think, from one of you guys about binding this stuff with some physical stuff like your machine, your vehicle, or something of those sorts. I think that would be pretty interesting. And also the idea on the lines of CloudBot and Plant Book or something like that, wherein plants are talking to each other.
Yeah, you got to do it. I think I think you'd get some pretty excited green thumbs to participate.
Yeah,
there's definitely an opportunity to productize the sensor and then make the app in Rive. And like, this is a really good idea. Like this is a great, like you're basically allowing plants to have feelings and emotions that we can comprehend. That's crazy. Like that's like sci-fi shit. That's actually crazy.
Could even be like a pot if you could make it like the display
Yes.
wrap around, you know, like you just sell those. As
Yeah, I
pots for
actually
people.
thought of it. So there are things called OLEDs. So basically, it's a very compressed version of a screen. But the capability in terms of what I can show on web and a mobile or an Android mobile is pretty less in terms of the OLEDs. So that's why I just thought of creating these. Actually, there was some idea that I thought of was like when I go home this time for my mom's garden, what I would like to do is wire up 5 to 10 plants and try to create social media of sorts so that I can chat to them, they can chat to each other. Yeah, something
So
like
awesome.
that.
Give them all their own CloudBot instance.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually coming. Okay, Sajal, this is awesome. This is so well done. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, guys. Yeah.
And now I think we're going to hear from Isa for Heads Will Roll. Isa, welcome to the stage. I think she's still here.
I'm
There
here.
we go. All right,
Hello.
welcome. Congratulations.
Thank
Congrats.
you. Can you guys hear me well?
Yeah.
Okay. First, I want to thank you guys. Like you're giving me congrats and everything. But first, the Rive software is like my biggest passion. It's kind of weird. I'm obsessed with it. So I wanted to thank you, Luigi and Guido, for it, and also thank the judges and congratulations to all the people that participated on the challenge. It was so much fun. I actually wasn't going to submit anything, but then I saw the timeline, like people submitting, and I was like, oh, I want to have fun as well. So yeah, very glad to be here.
All right, well, let us know. Like, okay, tell us about your process. We're so glad you did submit because you just won $3,000 thanks to Rive. But yeah, tell us more like about Heads Will Roll, the bloodlust, streak, all the good stuff.
Yeah, of course. So like the Heads Will Roll, I think I mentioned this in the video or the description, I'm not sure. It's actually a project that I already submitted in another challenge, the previous challenge for Rive. And it like the original idea came from the fact that I'm working with Rive for a long time now. I think it's since 2023, 2022, like around that. But I never have time to kind of build my portfolio and do like personal projects to show around. So I kind of wanted to do something that really showcased my skills with the app. And my idea was like, let me try to do a game using only Rive. I know like the capabilities of Rive connected to code are amazing, but the main goal was to really like do something that you could access typing like rive.app, and play. So basically that's how Heads Will Roll began. And I really wanted to join the challenge right now. I experimented with other scriptings, other files to submit, but in the end I was like, okay, I already have an idea, and I know that there was some limitations around Heads Will Roll that I could not achieve without code. So I basically decided to just do everything inside Rive, and it turns out it was very fun actually. So yeah, that's it basically.
That's awesome.
awesome.
There's so many components here that seem like they could be reusable too. Like I feel like I hope you submit to the marketplace some of the like even that blood splatter effect, that like the procedural blood splatter, being able to reuse that for other things, the particle effects, the lighting. There's even how you did your configuration is super cool. I think there's a lot of concepts in here that are generally applicable, and it's really cool to see again how someone who's got the vision and the ability to kind of go deep can go so deep. And this one was just really, really awesome. Thanks for submitting it. It would have been a very different challenge without it.
Yeah, I submitted it like I think it was like 3 a.m. for me, and the challenge ended like an hour later of my submission. Yeah, it was really like I didn't have a lot of time. Like I was working during that week, so it was kind of like in my spare time. But in general, I think it was really fun to do, and it's very cool to hear you guys talk about it, because I really like the result of this piece specifically. I like to do personal projects because of that as well. Like I can have full control of it. And some of the things are really connected to the way I try to present myself as a professional, of like having the product mind of how this looks, like having the gameplay feel good, not just be like random heads, but actually have like a loop, a rhythm to it. And overall, the connection between doing something that is polished on the design and also editable, because designers not always are like, I'm not always doing this by myself. Sometimes there's like designers that are not on the code side, and also be able to connect that to the code side in a way that doesn't break either sides. It still looks like the original piece, but it has like all the behavior, the powerful behavior that the code can give you.
That's exactly Rive in a nutshell. You couldn't have said it better.
Yeah, totally. Actually, your submission had something that we shared internally with our team. I think Isa could do some sort of positioning work for the company, because the way you framed it was just perfect. I meant to ask you, what you mentioned you submitted this really late. Like, how long did you start working on it because there was an extension, or had you started working on it before? Like, how long did you work on this?
I started to work on it for the challenge specifically. I think it took me like 3 days of work, but not like not full-time work, like in my spare time. I don't know exactly the hours, but I need to give the credit to the AI agent.
Whoa, Ben! You just
wow
behind you. That was crazy.
Oh my god!
Was
that snow?
I'm glad you saw that. Yeah, it's a little icy out here.
We heard it too.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That was nuts.
Wow.
That's really funny, because I'm like sweating. It's so hot here. We're having like snow.
Wait, where are you, Isa?
I'm in Brazil, but closer
Okay.
to Argentina. It's like
Very nice.
really south. Yeah.
Enjoying summer then.
Kind of.
Yep.
It's really hot right now. But yeah, I forgot what I was talking about.
Oh, how long you worked on it?
Oh yeah,
I'd asked.
exactly.
Yeah, you said 3 days.
I was gonna. Yeah, I just mentioned the AI agent, and something like that happens. Like you can see how powerful the feature is. But I think like
an avalanche. Just
yeah,
summoning
exactly.
AI.
But it's basically like I've been focusing more on my coding skills. I'm not a coder yet, sadly. I want to get there. But I've tried to do like some games like using JavaScript, and I've been learning. But for the scripting challenge, like there would be no way for me to learn everything about Luau, and actually get this. So basically what I did was that I already had like all the logic that I wanted to have on the game. So I knew like I wanted to have particles in a specific file. I knew that I wanted to have like the waves of heads. I knew that I wanted to have like a resolution that was not a resolution or a physics system that was not tied to the resolution, and stuff like that. So I basically like described in very details what I wanted, and in pieces for the AI agent. And I also used a lot stuff like, hey, please, can you teach me how to use view models in scripting? And then it gives me like a file that is an example of how to use all the features,
Awesome to hear that.
Yeah, it's really cool to do that. Like, it's really cool to not ask for code.
Yeah, that's really great that you use that, because that was part of the big effort the team put into the agent as well, was making sure that I can help you understand how Rive works and how to tie the script into like all the features that Rive gives you. You said something that I wanted to come back to that now I don't remember. You had said something about the resolution independence. I thought that was really cool, because that was in your video. Because did you use responsive layouts for you, or did you have the agent handle all of that for you?
I used the responsive layouts for the HUD. So like everything you see that it's like an interface it has responsive layouts. But the actual I had that on my data bind version of this game, where it's like all the movements are percentages of the screen, so there's no like fixed amount of movement. But on this case, since I didn't have like specific like the percentages, it was not like constraints the movement. I used like a unit for the movement. So like everything is moving X units, and then I convert the units to resolution on the final draw call, like there's
That's awesome.
everything that is like the logic is not in pixels. It's like a universal unit,
So essentially you could load this on a phone in portrait mode and it'll look good and work, like the actual gameplay will still work, but then you can load it on like you said in the video, a 4K monitor, and it'll also work. That's
exactly. That's exactly the point.
That's what I think goes back to what Michelle was saying. Like when you start playing with this game and you realize the technical detail that went into like these UX things that you considered, like it's a full game ready to ship. Like that's just so impressive for 3 days of work.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I have.
Well, of course, you have parts from your previous submission, but yeah.
Exactly. And I also have like the biggest advantage of actually working with games. So I think like a lot of the concepts are translating. Like when people say, is this a game engine? I can understand like all the logic of like the update, draw call, like this kind of stuff. Yeah. It's really, it relates a lot,
I'll actually say one of the things about your submission that I thought was really interesting is you are like, this is an upgrade. I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if I rebuilt this with scripting? And in my head, I was like, oh, only someone who really understands what's going on and only a platform that is super stable would allow for someone to rebuild a project that already exists. Because it's like I think sometimes people think they're like, oh, but you already like had a V1. And I'm like, no. If you're trying to improve upon something that's already been built, it's actually even more difficult because there's some rules already in place and you have to know what things you're keeping, what things you're updating, like is the new scaffolding that you're making, like working with that. And it's actually like a quite high technical degree of understanding. So I was really impressed with that too.
Oh, thank you. I haven't thought about that specific angle. Like I did it because I didn't have enough time and I already had like the idea and everything in my head. I was expecting I could do this on code someday, not specifically inside Rive, but I was like, oh, someday if I want to connect this to code, I can. But I think you're right. Like it's something that I really like about Rive is specifically this, like working in a professional pipeline. I think it's even more powerful than people realize usually. Like you can use it to go from prototype to like production, which is kind of crazy for me. Like specifically on the game side of things, like Unity and Unreal, they are kind of a beast, So Rive is it's very easy to work with for me specifically. I think it's awesome. So yeah, but very glad that you pointed this out actually.
Yeah, I wanted to add on top of Michelle's question that like, taking something you've already built and rebuilding it, how much of like those visual assets were you able to reuse and just, tell the script to connect to the view models and data binding properties that you'd already created? Like, was that pretty compatible or did you have to go and rework things?
No, it was pretty compatible. I basically I reused all, because when I did this, I did it with like artboards and it was basically lists that were triggering the heads and the bombs.
Lists, for people who are not familiar with, is a data binding feature that lets you create like a list of items, n items procedurally driven by code. So think of like you're using a list when you have your contact list on your iPhone that has, maybe 2 people or 1,000 people, or a drop down that opens up and maybe it has 5 items or a bunch of items, a table, anything like that is a list. In Rive, we take it further where we let you make that list follow any path and go anywhere. Like it doesn't have to just be a vertical or horizontal scrolling thing that has. In fact, in the last challenge we did, the Snakes and Ladders game that Afiz did was using a list to procedurally fill the path of the game, the board game with items. Anyway, back to you, Isa.
No, but that's it. Like I basically I reused everything. Like the start screen is the same, the game over screen is the same, the HUD is the same. I just added the meter, and the heads and the bombs are the same. The only thing that I replaced was the particles because the particles were vector before, and now they are like generated by the code, right? And actually, like the logic is replaced, but
they're
design
still vector,
elements are
but
the
they're
same.
procedurally. You didn't
Yeah,
draw them
exactly.
manually.
Yeah,
The
it's
script
not a
is
shape.
drawing them.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like a path on my end, but something that a path that is being drawn by the code. And basically, like that's what I also find it amazing, is that like I could achieve exactly the same visual. Like the visuals are the same, you know. I'm just changing the logic. So in theory, like it's the best software to maintain a consistent look, you know, for your game or for any experience you're building. Like I cannot think of other software where you can like achieve the exact look you already have like on a mockup, you know.
That's another really great positioning statement right there. So many great marketing nuggets, Isa.
Oh, I have really good ones. Once I said to Valerie from Rive that Rive is changing the world. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Another impactful.
It's true. Well, congratulations. You won $3,000 thanks to the Rive team, and Heads Roll was incredible. And that wraps up our scripting challenge. So what's next? Definitely check out Rive on Contra. It's really, really blowing up. And there's more to come. I don't know, anything, Guido, what's next with Rive?
Yeah, we're going to be doing more of these challenges because they're awesome, and we can't think of going back to kind of that positioning thing. We can't think of a better way to show off what the tool can do than this, and to have give back to the creators and reward them for creating really awesome stuff. So we plan to do a lot more of these. So keep your eyes open and peeled. And thanks for Contra for having us and for supporting us. And they've been awesome partners. They were like retweeting everything and reposting constantly, and the community challenges around getting people involved, I think has all been like super awesome. We were stoked to see that. Luigi, on features, do we want to talk about what's next? I mean, there's a lot of stuff still coming. We've given a few hints. The obviously fetch, the date being able to pull in data live in the editor is a big one. Luigi, I don't know if you want to share.
There's two features that should be launching this week, I think. As soon as we release the prod, there's a couple things that are I think people from this particular challenge would have probably loved to have had, and we just could not sneak them in time. One is the ability to draw images on top of your procedurally generated meshes. So you can actually have the agent deform meshes for you and things like that. Or you can draw, there's a couple of really cool examples I want to make that I'll show that make this, but you can actually, like anyone who's been doing 3D, you can now do texturing on top of that, which is really cool. But you can also use it to build, your own procedural shapes that have textured images on them, which I think is going to be really interesting. The other big feature that's launching this week is, with regards to the scripting and agent stuff in particular, is the blob. We have a new type of asset that is the blob, which is basically any kind of binary data or text data, whatever it is, that you need as a supporting asset that you want to write code for, that you know how to decode. Like maybe you want to bring some JSON, maybe you want to bring a 3D format, maybe you want to bring, I don't know, anything that you need to visualize, some custom level format or some custom data format. You can bring that into the editor directly. It'll be exported with your file, and you can bring code that will know how to decode that and do stuff with it. And of course, it's all available at edit time too, so you can preview it and work with it in the editor directly.
Huge. Okay, so many exciting things coming from Rive. So more to come. All right, more challenges coming. Guido, I wasn't going to drop it, but yeah, this is happening. So the Rive team and the Contra team, we're teaming up again. And Michelle, thank you so much for judging. It was great to meet you and have
Thanks,
you.
Michelle.
It's a blast.
Thanks,
Loved
Michelle.
it. Thank you for having me.
And I think that is a wrap. So huge shout out to the Rive team, the Rive community. You all are so talented, and more to come. Thanks again.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Contra
Bye.
team.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Contra. Bye.